Okay. Hey guys, I'm Claude and welcome to my sketchbook tour. It's probably gonna be a bit chaotic and loud. As you can see, my dog is here and he will make his little noises. If you are into the sound of a dog licking his privates, then this is definitely the video for you. So this is an Arteza sketchbook. It is around 5 by 8 inches, which is 13 by 21 centimeter. It has 132 pages and the paperweight is 175, which is, I think, comparable to a Moleskine sketchbook. So this is advertised by Arteza as a sketchbook for dry media, but I'm using pretty much everything in here: watercolor, gouache, some acrylic paint. And the paper is warping a bit, but I don't mind that very much. I bought this sketchbook in August of 2021, which is quite a while ago. But the way I use sketchbooks is that I always have several of them, which I rotate depending on my mood. I will choose one in a smaller size or bigger size, but I forced myself to use only this one since the beginning of this year because it's been a while since I ever finished a sketchbook, so that was my goal. And it wasn't easy for me, to be honest. I started to really despise this sketchbook, even though I quite like the paper. I like working on this paper, but yeah, forcing myself to work only in this sketchbook wasn't a whole lot of fun. I'm glad that I'm done, and I'm glad that I can go back to my usual sketchbook routine. So let's start. Oh, and when I bought this, I bought it on Amazon. Now Amazon Germany doesn't carry this one anymore. I don't know why, or if it eventually will again, because on the Arteza website you can buy these sketchbooks only in a pack of 3. Which is a bit annoying. I really don't like it when companies do this. I mean, I know that I like the sketchbook and eventually I will buy it again or buy 3 again if I don't have any other option. But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to recommend a sketchbook to someone who hasn't tried it yet, and then they buy it in a pack of 3, they don't like it, and then they end up having 3 sketchbooks that they really don't like, don't use. Let's move on. Pretty sure that this is gouache. This is probably watercolor. Oh, and I will try to tell you about the products that I've used on the individual pages, but I bought it in 2021, so I'm probably not going to remember everything. There's a whole lot of drawings in this sketchbook, and I have this bag which is filled with pretty much only black pens, so I'm not gonna be able to remember every individual pen that I used on every drawing, but I mean, it's just a black pen drawing. I don't think it really matters all that much what kind of brand I used. So when I started this sketchbook, one of my goals was to use brush pens more, because my dog is really indecisive about where he should lay down. Yeah, so I practiced a lot with the brush pen. There will be loads of brush pen drawings. That's just me practicing. I don't know how interesting that is to look at, but I'm happy to report that I am a lot more comfortable with brush pens. So all of these old guys are drawn from reference. Probably, pretty sure, because old guys are quite difficult, so I definitely need a reference for that. He is probably from reference 2. These all look a bit wonky, so I assume I didn't use a reference for these. Okay, more brush pen practice. I'm pretty sure that these guys are from a movie. Was it Pineapple Express? I remember there being some sort of Oriental Express. Was it Oriental Express? Something Express. Editing Claude here. I just wanted to correct myself. It was neither Pineapple Express nor was it Oriental Express. It was in fact Wes Anderson's The Darjeeling Limited. I sure do know my train movies. Moving on. He's from a TV show, I'm pretty sure. A British TV show, I think. Something about something the world ending. The end of the fucking world. There you go. That's what you were looking for, Claude. Yeah, I really like these two. He is also pretty nice. And there will be some pink brush pen drawings. So these are, the pink ones are made with a etcher brush pen. My sister gave me a gift of 2 etcher sketchbooks and a set of pens for Christmas a couple of years ago. So I use mostly, are they here? Yeah. So for the brush pens, I use mostly these. These are by Kuretake, but I can remember that I think the first brush pen that I bought was a Pentel brush pen, because Kuretake stuff is really difficult to get in Germany. I don't know if it's a bit easier in other countries, but we don't have like a big variety of their products here. So I don't use the Pentel brush anymore. I don't think I even have it, but I am using these. And so the way I use them, this should be, yeah. So this one is the juicy one. Makes really nice dark lines. You can see it on, I'm gonna zoom you in a bit. So you can probably see it on these guys, how dark the lines are. And then here, these two, they are a lot lighter. The lines almost look a bit broken up and faded, and that's because I always let one of them run dry a bit. So one of these makes really soft lines and broken up lines, and the other one makes the darker lines. And that's something that I started to do because it made me feel a bit more comfortable with using the brush pen. Using pens without a pencil sketch underneath always made me feel really insecure, because I always wanted to get the lines right. And when I would use this lighter one, it was almost like a security blanket, because I knew that if I made a line and I was really, really unhappy about it and it bothered me, then I could always correct it with this one, just going over it. And I actually didn't use this all that much. Like you can see, the head is a bit wonky, it looks off, and I didn't even bother correcting it. I guess I just like the feeling that I could if I wanted to. So if you're feeling a bit insecure about using brush pens, then maybe this might help you out a bit. I'm gonna zoom you out again. So, oh, no, that's a bit, yeah, that's better. More practice. So he's definitely, oh, I'm gonna put these away. So he's definitely from a reference. Sorry about my voice, it's not really doing its job right now. So he's definitely from a reference. I remember the photo. Everything else might actually be straight from imagination, which isn't like super impressive because these are just some floating heads. I really don't need that much imagination for something like this. But I really like her. I like the hoodie, sweatshirt, whatever this was supposed to be. And the hair, of course. More practice, and you can see here, and you can see the difference here between the juicy brush pen and the a bit more broken up, lighter lines. It's also quite a nice contrast, even though all of this is brush pen, there is some variety to the lines, which I like. I think that's also why I started adding the colored brush pen, you know, just for the aesthetics, I guess. More floating heads. I really like these two. So this is probably watercolor and some brush pens. Yeah, I feel like after practicing some old guys, I started to appreciate bearded old guys, because then I could draw even more lines, not just the hair. More practice. Really like this head and this little guy down here. Don't know why. I mean, the hand looks a bit wonky and off, but I still kind of like it. Some pencil sketches. I think this was supposed to be a thumbnail for a drawing or painting that I never actually turned into anything, and these colored parts are watercolor brushes. I also started using them in the sketchbook, but I barely really used them to color in anything. Once I got a bit more comfortable with brush pens, I started using them just for line work. Some ballpoint pen sketches. I really like the look of a ballpoint pen drawing, but I don't think I like the feeling very much of using them. So this is pretty much the only ballpoint pen thing in the sketchbook. She turned out pretty cute though. But I don't think I'm gonna be using them a whole lot. Don't know what I swatched here. I really should start making it a habit to note down what I'm swatching when I'm swatching it, because I have so many swatches in my sketchbooks and I barely even remember what they're made with. Some more brush pen doodles, a pencil sketch. These are also watercolor brushes. I don't know what all of this is supposed to be. Maybe I was on a phone or just mindlessly doodling while I was watching a video or something. Some sad abandoned doodle. This is a bit more creepy than anything that came before it. I remember watching a movie while I was drawing this, but I don't remember what. It was something, it wasn't a horror movie, but it was some weird European thing on YouTube. I can remember that I started watching it because I thought it was gonna be creepy, but it really wasn't. It was just strange. It also didn't help that I didn't understand the language and there were subtitles, so while I was drawing, maybe I missed some bits, and that's why I really didn't get the movie. I don't care much for this. I mean, the moth is fine. This part, like the background part, is fine, but I really hate the hatching on the pants. Really don't like the hands. I hate her face. So yeah, I don't really care much for it. Some more doodles. I hate this. This hand's okay. Don't know what this is. This is just maybe another phone doodle. Watercolor. These are some watercolor brushes. And this is not a brush pen. This is just some pen. No idea which one. But I like this doodle. Some fish doodles with a pen, and I don't think this is this watercolor? No. I think this is gouache. Yeah, I think this is gouache actually. More. Sorry about my voice in this video, I don't know what's going on. So yeah, these are more brush pen drawings, watercolor brushes. I think one of the reasons why I started to really dislike using this sketchbook is because I don't really do a lot of full body drawings in the sketchbooks because I can never get the position right. Like there's always, I hope you can't hear my stomach growling. I probably should have eaten breakfast before I started filming this. So there's always a part of the body that will be cut off because I can never place them right. So this is pretty much a portrait and bust only sketchbook for me, and this is really annoying me. Like even if there's just a tiny bit of the shoe cut off, it's annoying to me. This is Cujo, my dog, and some more brush pen drawings. This is also a etcher brush pen. Don't really care for the face very much. All of this needs to be further up. This is gouache. This is also gouache. This is brush pen. Everything else is some kind of black pen. So whenever I'm using anything besides a pen, so may it be watercolor or gouache, I feel like I never know when to stop. And I keep tinkering around. That's why I made it a habit to simply draw over it, on top of it. That's kind of me trying to force myself to stop because, okay, there's a doodle on top of it. Don't touch it, it's done. And it works. Some hand practice, and this is also gouache. I really like the jacket and the hair. Anything else is I always have these phases where I like to use only watercolor or only gouache, and eventually my enthusiasm will decline, and then I will simply abandon all of my gouache or watercolor paintings. This is also something that I started doing in the sketchbook, which I think is actually a pretty good habit. So there used to be tons of floating heads in this sketchbook. I will start a face with watercolor. Yeah, I believe this is watercolor, and this is, I think, just a colored mechanical pencil. So I would start a face, dislike it for whatever reason, or maybe not even dislike it, I would just stop because I didn't feel like finishing it and then moving on to another page. And that's something that always bothered me when I would go back, flip through the sketchbook just to see all of these faces that never went anywhere. So whenever I felt like drawing, but I really didn't have any ideas, I also didn't feel super creative today, I would just get a pen and go back to one of these abandoned faces and start doodling on top of it. And I really like the look. I really like these pages in particular. Now they're actually two of my favorite drawings in the sketchbook. So it's a win-win because now I don't feel guilty anymore for abandoning faces. And whenever I feel like drawing something without feeling super creative, I can just go back and finish a page up like this. More brush pen doodles. I think this was also a abandoned head that I went back to. She was also abandoned, but now I really like the way this looks. I think this is colored pencil. I also really like heads. In case you haven't noticed, here I was trying out some Kuretake pens that they have sent me. More practice. I don't have a whole lot to say about this, just some doodles. Here I was trying out. Did I try it out here? Yeah, I think. Yeah. Okay, so this is the drawing I did after I tried out the brushes. I think this one and these two I used mostly, and some of the black one. Yeah, that's the drawing I did after trying out these. And I really like it. It really gives me Junji Ito vibes. I know that some people comment that they can tell that I draw a lot of inspiration from him, which isn't very surprising to me because I really like his work. I read all of his manga. I really admire his style, enjoy his work very much. So it's kind of, so I think it's pretty natural that some of it would stick. But most of the time, I can't really see it. I mean, if it does look like his work, then I don't do it intentionally. But yeah, for the most part, I don't see it. With this one, I do see it. But yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I love his work, so I really don't feel too bad about my art giving off some of his pretty spooky vibes. I think these were also made with the same pens that I used for this. I really like her, and see this small part of her shoes is cut off, and it annoys me so much because otherwise it's really good, but this part annoys the hell out of me. I really like her too. Very pretty strong nose. This was made with something that Kuretake has sent me also. I think it's their graphite set. I mean their fluid graphite set, like 6 pens with muted colors. They kind of look like their other Gansai Tambi pens. But yeah, I really like the way this looks. So these are really just doodles, and apparently this must have been real ugly. I can't remember it though. Oh yeah, so these are alcohol markers, but this isn't, I think. This is a watercolor brush. So yeah, this spread is a video. I'm gonna put the link somewhere up here. I assume that future me will do that. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk too much about this. Probably saw the video. If you haven't, if you're curious, then you can watch the video. Oh yeah, so this is the set, the Kuretake graphite set. Yeah, and I also used it for this lady down here. Really like this, this violet and green. It's a nice combination. This is gouache, I think. Another abandoned head that I doodled on top of. Don't know what these are. No, maybe could be the Winsor & Newton. This small set, but I'm not sure. More doodles. These are again these pens. I think yeah. I think this set had like they sent me a watercolor brush set, and they were mostly grays, but warm and cold grays. So these must be the warm grays. This is gouache, I think. More pen practice. This is alcohol. Yeah, this is alcohol marker. Not too sure what I was aiming for with this. Probably just wanted to, because I was practicing trees here. So I probably just wanted to do something with trees. I mean, it's alright. Yeah, don't. This is just weird. Don't know what this is about. Oh, I must have really disliked the face or the head, so I glued a piece of paper on top of it and drew it again. Apparently this must have been better than whatever is underneath it. These are alcohol markers and pencil lines. I actually really like the look. I should do more pencil and alcohol marker stuff. I like how soft this looks. Nothing going on here. This is also a video and it's looking so dirty. Maybe I should have cleaned up my sketchbook a bit before I started filming this. But yeah, I'm also gonna link the video somewhere. So these are acrylic pens, but this is acrylic paint. Okay, so when I started doing this, I noticed I used a acrylic pen doing this, and the paper really didn't like it. Yeah, you can definitely tell how much paint I have used, and the fibers, because the paper is pretty soft, so the fibers started to get loose. So instead of using the pens for the background, I used acrylic paint and then used the pens on top of the paint, which worked a whole lot better. Like the paper wasn't very bothered about that. And I really like this look. But yeah, going straight in with acrylic pens on this paper is not a good idea. More pen doodles. Really like the fancy updos. Oh, this is just sad. Yeah, looks pretty abandoned. More dirty pen doodles. I think I actually might know what kind of pen I used for this, because the lines are so super fine. This must be, yeah. So this pen has a tiny itsy bitsy nib. Yeah, I really like how, oh, I smudged her feet. I really like how fine and delicate these lines are. And for once I managed to make a full body drawing without cutting off the feet. Go me. And the cat is pretty cute too. A handsome little guy. This is also gouache. I like her. These two don't care too much about, like her head is ginormous. This should be a bit smaller. I like the colors. More doodles, more brush pen. Really dislike the eyes on this one, so I taped some paper on top of it and drew them again. Looks a whole lot better now. These are also watercolor brushes. I think you can tell that I'm starting to feel a bit more comfortable with the pen. This is watercolor, I think, but also might be gouache, I'm not too sure. So yeah, when I use gouache, I really don't layer it very heavily. I don't use a whole lot of paint. I really use it more like watercolor, so sometimes it's difficult for me to tell what it actually is. And I like the contrast between, I mean, she's pretty cutesy, kind of manga-esque, whereas, I mean, I wouldn't call these drawings very realistic anything, but the face is, I don't know, just a bit more simplified, I think. More brush pen. I really like this spread as a whole. Looks a bit messy, but I like her. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying using a brush pen a lot more. I think in the last couple of weeks I used the brush pen or pen in general more than I did pencil. So yeah, this is more acrylic paint. And just some doodle on top of it. This, like, you can forget about this entire page, it does nothing. This is gouache. Really like the jacket. I like the angular shadows. More watercolor brush pens. She turned out really nice. Like her. More random swatches. This is also gouache. This is Sarah from Dragon Age Inquisition. This plant is also from Dragon Age. I really love the entire Dragon Age franchise. I replayed Inquisition at the end of last year. I was really hoping that they would announce a release date for the new game, and I was really hoping that it would maybe release this year even, but yeah, I'm not too hopeful about that. Maybe if we're lucky, like at the end of this year, but I think it's more realistic that they will announce a release date this year and that it will probably release next year. So I still have some time to replay all of the game. I really like her design. It took me quite a bit to appreciate Sarah for who she is. I think she's like one of the most polarizing characters in Dragon Age. You either really, really like her or you really dislike her. Yeah, I really couldn't stand her in the beginning, and now she's fine. Like I don't hate her, I don't love her, but I do like her design a lot. More pen. Don't like her too much. Also watercolor brushes. I can't decide whether I like this or not. I mean, I like how simple it is, but I don't know. I can't decide. Another abandoned drawing. This is also gouache, and I like the idea of it. I don't know why I haven't finished it, because it looks good. I like it. It was probably another instance of me enjoying gouache for a while and then getting disinterested in it. But I like the idea. Maybe I'm gonna actually turn this into something. Yeah, just some abandoned drawing. This is Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. Don't know what's with the reddish, probably a reference to her earrings. Another 30 spread. I like the shoes. I just wish the sketchbooks wouldn't look as dirty as they do after a while. More doodles, nothing super interesting going on here. More abandoned gouache. I'm starting to see a trend. I really like to abandon gouache paintings. Malacca pose. Some more unfinished stuff. This is probably also gouache. More watercolor brush drawings. Oh, yeah, so this is alcohol marker. More watercolor brushes. some watercolor, and I actually noted down what kind of watercolor I'm using. Alcohol marker. I like the color combination, like I like the color palette of this. I just don't care too much for the drawing itself. I do like these pencil drawings though. More watercolor brush drawings. And this is it. I think this is is this? Yeah. It's probably watercolor. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so this is pretty much it. Now that I've flipped through this and made a video, I kind of feel a bit, I guess, self-conscious about this sketchbook. I mean, there's a whole lot of pen practice, and while I'm happy that I did practice so much, because I definitely feel a lot more comfortable. I'm not too sure how interesting all of this is to look at. I mean, I feel like half of the video is just me pointing at a page and saying brush pen practice, more brush pen. But there really isn't a whole lot to say about this. And I don't know, I just do feel like this is super creative. Like when I look at sketchbook tours by other people on YouTube, like they have so much different stuff in it, so many different paints and approaches and collages, and like 80% of this is just pen drawing. But yeah, I'm not gonna Okay, I'm gonna finish this video up before it gets even louder. Thank you so much for watching. Even though it was pen mostly, I hope you still enjoyed watching me going through my sketchbook. I hope it was still entertaining. And thank you. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.